How we are going to connect the Telegram bot with the trade copier EM. We will use this function Telegram to MT4, and in that function we will use the web request. So the code for MT4 and MT5 is almost the same. This web request is same for the MT4 and MT5 trade copier EA. There is no difference. This is first we see Java's JS object. I told you about C custom bot class, and then we created an object bot. So in the JSON.mqh file, there is a class C Java. We create an object JS. We will use this object JS to read the JSON message. Then we declare string headers. You don't have to give any value, don't worry about it. But just to make things clear, headers can be request headers and response headers. Request headers are when we make a GET request, we will send a request header in which the type of information that we want. And when the server will respond, it will send response header that will contain information about the format that the server has used to send information. But we don't have to go into much detail. Just we have to write string headers. I told you about these car, post, array, and result array. We declare that, and then we use this int res web request get method. This is the URL that we want to ask for the get information. https api.telegram.org bot plus input token plus get updates. So this is the URL, the server's URL. So this web request will contact this server URL over here. Then it is just empty string. Null means nothing. 10,000 means this timeout 10 seconds. If the message is not received in 10 seconds, it will break the connection. Post is this post array, and this array size is just the size of this post array. Array size is a predefined function. If array has got 10 elements in it, the array size will be 10. So it's just simple array size. This is the array size of post, array size. Result is this again, this car, array, and headers. These are what we have defined. So here, this was the request headers. They are empty. We don't send any request header. And these headers are the response headers. So once the server will reply, it will send these headers. But we don't need these headers. So this is the web request. This is the HTTPS protocol, api.telegram.org bot /bot. This input token is in the defined above. Then this is get updates, comma for offset is equal to -1. This is the URL. Then we have this request header with empty string, null, 10,000 in 10 seconds. post array size is the of the post result headers. So this will be the result that I showed you in the previous videos on JSON. The result contained the message. So once we download this string server response data, we always use expressive variable name is equal to car array to string result. So result was a character array, so we change it to a string. I told you that on internet information gets transmitted in character forms. We use this JC JS object now to deserialize this result. Now it will break that result into its objects and values. Remember, I in the JSON video explained to you object and value. You call it in JavaScript, call it objects. We can call for our purposes variables and values. For example, here this always comments are used to forward slashes. So just to help you print JS, it will deserialize the result is the object. We have inverted commas, 0 I showed you in that prettier form, 0 is the index, update ID. So update ID to string, it will convert it into string. Right? I told you we need this update ID. And then this is JS result 0 message text to string. So this was the text that we wanted to read. So let's do it. Update ID string, it is now a string, is equal to JS, that object, we now break it into result. Remember that video JSON, if you want you can see it again. 0 is the index, update ID. So we will read that update ID now. Now this will contain this update ID in string form. In update ID is equal to string to integer. This is an inbuilt predefined function. It will convert the string to integer. Update ID string. Now we also read that chat ID string. I remember I told you that we will need this chat ID because in the last video I showed you bot.send message chat ID message. So we need this chat ID. So JS result 0 index message chat ID. So it will break this message, read this message to string. So chat ID is ulong. Ulong is just an integer, unsigned and positive integer. It's ulong. All these integers are positive. So ulong chat ID string. If you use integer, it will not give the right answer because chat ID can be a bigger number. So we have to use this ulong unsigned long number. And then there is string output. If capture previous update ID is less than update ID, capture previous update ID is equal to update ID. We'll update it. If it is capture previous update, we will not remember this update ID. If update ID is whatever update ID, will save it as capture previous update ID. Once we have got new update ID, we will check it. If the saved previous capture previous update ID is less than update ID, so we will save this new update ID into that capture previous update, so that we know that we are reading the latest message. We are not reading an old message. So string chat message text, this is again JS object result 0 index message text to string. So it has now read that string message. We will use the string split. This is an inbuilt predefined function that splits string. So we will input it chat message text, and break it into individual words. Remember, I showed you this forward slash n. This is the new line character. So it will break using this new line character and then output. Let me show you how it's going to do it. Remember, that was the message cell limit forward slash n, cell limit forward slash n, pound dollar forward slash n, 240 forward slash n, 2 bar forward slash n, 0 forward slash n, 3 forward slash n, 2. So this was the string message. So once we use that this one string split function, it will use this string get character, this forward slash n as a character to break it into different strings. So it will first cell limit will be output 0, pound dollar will be output 1, 240 will be output 2, 2 will be output 3, 0 will be output 4, 3 will be output 5, and 2 will be output 6. And these forward slash n will just go away. So we have read the message now, right? So this is how we are going to read the message. So output is the array. We declare this array string output. So I have just explained to you this cell limit will be in the array output 0 index. It will save that. Output 1 will save this symbol pound dollar. Output 2 will save this period 240. Output 3 will save this bar. Output 4 will save this offset, how many pips above and below the high. Output 5 will be this magic number, output 6 will be this risk percentage. So this is how we are going to read this JSON message that Telegram API will send. I hope this is clear, because this is the same function and the same, everything is same for MT5 date copier also. We just initialize this C Java object from JSON.MQH. That's why we had included it in the beginning. I explained to you this JSON.MQH. Then we declare these variables, make a web request, and then use this JSON to deserialize the result. And then we use this JS to JS.deserialize is one of the methods. Then we read that message. And I told you we need this update ID, we need this chat ID, and we need this text. Now we save this update ID into a variable capture previous update ID. And every time we have a new update ID, we save it into the capture previous update ID, so that we have this record with us that we have read these messages and we are not reading old messages. I hope things are clear to you. One thing I forgot to tell you is that for web request to work, you have to first click on tools on the MT4 platform. Click on options. This expert advisors tab. Tick allow automated trading. Tick allow DLL imports. Tick allow web request for listed URL. It's very important. You have to tick these three check marks and this allow web request, and there you have to give it this URL https colon / api.telegram.org. So it should MT4 platform should know that this web request is using this URL, the server URL. So once you have done it, then click OK. Now the web request function is fully functional, and EA will be able to successfully make this web request.